Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not emphasized, especially if you're doing like an industrial degree or an electrical degree of like how do you actually get into the software side more. Um, you do have to supplement that with like I did a ton of like self-learning about databases and a lot of like programming self-learning. I took some courses back when I was in school on it. But honestly, the stuff that I did by myself was way more beneficial than what anything that I learned in school. Um, but I actually do think that the MES side of things, I think it's actually more important that you have just a background in like some type of process engineering in general, more so than your actual programming background. I mean, here at Vertech, we have people who mainly come from either chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering, way more than we have any type of like software engineers. Mostly because the software part of it, I think, is a lot easier to learn than the process side of it. So like, what am I actually doing in this process? Because it's a lot easier to learn how to code than it is to teach somebody how to be like a classical engineer, I guess you could say. So I would say like if anybody's thinking about going into it and they're like, I don't know about the coding side, like I've never done any of that before. Like if you've got the process, like engineering part of it down, like you're golden. Like you'll be able to learn the rest of it.
Awesome, interesting. I guess I had some thoughts around there, but I know that people always ask, like, what does it take to make that step from either like electrical engineer, control systems engineer that are looking. Again, I would say that there's a higher importance today placed on MES, SCADA, data in general. So I think that many people see opportunities, and on the same side, I think that there's not enough people that know those disciplines well enough to be able to fill the positions.
No, and
Um,
there's definitely not. I mean, like nobody is graduating with a degree in like MES. Like that's just not a thing that exists. Like you're either an engineer or you're like getting a CS degree. So we really need more people to kind of bridge that gap. And I don't want to be biased, but I do think the people coming from the chemi or the electrical or the mechanical just tend to like fit better into this space just because of that background knowledge that you already have. I think specifically, probably if you're going to want to go more into MES, definitely look more on the systems integrator side versus like going to a specific company. And I say that just because if you kind of go and be an MES engineer or a data engineer at a specific company, you're only going to see how things are done one specific way. Whereas if you go work for a systems integrator doing that same job, you're going to get access to like a variety of different projects, be able to work on, so many different types of things. And the experience that you gain in that is going to be, I think, a lot more valuable early career wise than if you kind of just like shoehorn yourself into one very specific industry or even vertical.